kind of a web innovation exit. Unfortunately, there's not been too much web innovation in recent years, right? The last thing that I can tell you is I'm excited about an augmented reality mobile application for the iPhone and Android, which is called Sekai Camera, and that's a pretty cool concept. It's made by a Japanese company. Again, I'm talking about Japan so much because I live there, right? And I see a lot of startups that are doing stuff there. It is a TechCrunch 50 company actually. So it launched in America and it got a lot of eyeballs around the world. They have like 1.5 million users, I think, right now. Even though it is just available on a couple of smartphones, right? That's a cool concept, but again, as I said earlier, I'm really a little disappointed by the lack of innovation. Not in Asia, right? Not only in Asia, but also in Silicon Valley and in Europe in recent years. So there's no real killer service coming out in the last 2 years, maybe, that I use on a regular basis. Yeah, I was just talking about that. I mean, I think that there are like 5 factors, right? I mean, 5 innovative things that came out of Asia. One thing is like online gaming, especially like Chinese companies are very strong in that area, right? So you have 10 Chinese online gaming companies that are listed at the New York Stock Exchange, right? The other thing is like virtual goods within games and within social networks. I think that's one area where Asia really was innovative, especially Korea, with Cyworld and other companies that introduced the concept, right? And 2 or 3 years ago, America was making fun of the concept, saying, okay, we will never do that, right? So, and now we have Zynga and all those other social gaming companies that make millions and millions with virtual items, right? And third thing is like a mobile web, which was basically invented in Japan and nowhere else, right? So they had like a first mobile web browser came out in Japan in 1999, so 11 years ago. You could already browse the web on your mobile, and the Japanese people are still doing it. So it's another innovation coming out of Asia, and I think a fourth point is convergence between the web and hardware. I was just talking about web-enabled TVs, for example, about embedding Yahoo Maps in car navigation systems, so you can basically check out the next good restaurant in your vicinity when you drive your car. I think that's also another. That's one area which is still pretty much locked up in Asia. I think that will come in America in the next few years. You will see a lot of more internet-enabled TVs and other stuff that are tied in with the web. And another thing is that where Asia is really or used to be really strong is like very good internet and mobile infrastructure, especially in Korea and in Japan. So in Korea, for example, you had 95% broadband penetration in the year 2000. Right, 10 years ago, you had like a tremendous broadband penetration, and so Korea and Japan are still leading the world in broadband connection speeds, and I think that's number 5, and but at the moment I don't see anything cool. Yeah, they can write me an email, and I can blog about them on TechCrunch. That's one way. The other way is if I were an entrepreneur with exactly that, I would come to events like this, right? It's easiest thing in the world, right? To approach a VC and say, okay, hi, can I talk to you for 2 minutes and pitch the idea to him directly, right? I mean, you can even open your laptop, your smartphone, and show it to him. It's the easiest thing in the world, right? And
people do that to you?
yeah. To me, they do it like regularly, but I don't see enough entrepreneurs doing that, right?
It's not annoying to you?
No. I mean, I mean, it's I'm always happy if I see entrepreneurs approaching me and like pitching stuff to me, because it's their job, right? It's part of their job to go to people and push stuff to them, right? And so I'm, and the interesting thing from my perspective is that, you know, I have a lot of VC friends who are telling me, okay, Serkan, if you spot a good company, recommend them to me, right? So they are really harassing me and saying, okay, you know, we can't have our eyes and ears everywhere. So if you travel in Southeast Asia or even within Japan, for example, or in Silicon Valley, if you see a good startup that's looking for funding, tell me, right?